to everyone who is, I want to say thank you to everyone who's on this chat. We look forward to discussing pad split, discussing home ownership with you. Hopefully you'll find something interesting from this. Hopefully you'll get some good takeaways, and maybe this will inspire you to become a homeowner yourself. I'll give you guys a quick little background on myself. My name is Gene Brune. I've been with Pad Split for about 3 years now. I also was one of Pad Split's first 100 members. I lived in a Pad Split over on the west side of Atlanta near Mercedes-Benz Stadium. While living in a Pad Split, I was able to save up some money. I was able to save money to buy a car, which I still have right now. I bought a 2018 car in 2019. And then also in 2019, I had saved up enough money to purchase my own home. This was after paying down some student loan debt and paying off some credit cards to help improve my credit so that I could be better qualified for a mortgage. So I bought a house back in 2019, and I've been living in that house ever since then. It's 4 bedrooms, so I split it. The top floor, I rent out all 3 of the rooms on the top floor, which covers the cost of my mortgage, and it covers the cost of all of my utilities. So essentially, I'm living rent-free, but at the same time, I'm able to provide affordable housing for other people who are in the same situation that I was in a couple years ago. So that's hopefully what we hope everyone aspires to do. So in order to do that, you do need a good partner. I had a lot of good partners along the way that helped me with my credit and helped me buy a house, looking at houses and getting a mortgage. So this is one of the reasons why we wanted to introduce everyone on this call to Shara Alexander. She's a real estate agent here in Atlanta that services Atlanta and Marietta. She's a multi-million-dollar producer, so she definitely knows what she's doing. But she's also an educator for first-time home buyers. So I think this is going to be a perfect conversation for this audience, where you get to speak to someone who not only has experience selling homes, but also helping people buy their first home. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you guys to Tashara Alexander, and give me 1 second so Tashara can take over.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Gene. I appreciate that wonderful introduction. Hello, everyone. I am so excited to be here to partner with Pad Split. I'll tell you a little bit about how we got together, Pad Split and myself. It's a very interesting story. I want to do 3 things today. I'm not going to, waste your time. I'm going to get right to the purpose of this webinar. We're going to do 3 things. Okay. We're going to inspire, empower, and inform. Okay. My goal today is to inspire, empower, and inform. Okay. So we're going to talk about those 3 things real quickly. As a real estate agent, I come across a lot of people who are ready to buy homes. And then I come across people who are like, not right now. It really, really broke my heart when I first got into the business. I would introduce myself to people and say, hi, I'm Tashara Alexander. I have a seminar, I do seminars as well, coming up, and I want you to come and get some more information. And people would look like, oh, no, you don't know my credit. You don't know my history. You don't know what I've got. I could never own a home. And after hearing that so many times, of course, I had people who said, sure. And I have a lot of people who have closed homes in 2020, but that stuck with me. And I said, I want to do something about that. I want to do something for people who feel as if ownership is not possible. Okay. So Pad Split, that brings me to our meeting. I actually had a client. I had never heard of Pad Split. Okay. And I had a client who was living as a tenant with Pad Split, and we met. Same thing with her. She was like, no, I think she was first generational. And I'm going to tell you her story in a minute, but she was first generational homeowner. And I was able to get her into a home. And so she was thinking Pad Split. And I was like, who's that? And then she said, oh, you have to talk to them. And Gene called me. And I said, we must link up, because I have a passion. I love selling homes, multi-million-dollar homes, 3 stories. I can do it all. But there's a passion in me for the person who says, I cannot own. I'm not in a position. I don't even see myself doing it. I don't know, maybe it's a 20-year educator in me, but that's why I started doing seminars in addition to selling homes. Okay, this is I call it my community service. Pad Split is not a, it's a partnership. They're not paying me. I'm not giving them anything to be here before you today, guys. It's just my heart that they saw, wanting to help people become educated and empowered, in which we're going to talk about in a little bit. So I posted something on Facebook some time ago, and it was something about, owning a home. My motto is every heart deserves a home. Every heart deserves a home. I don't care what your financial situation is. I don't care if you're like me and used a bunch of credit cards when you were in college and still paying the benefits of that. Whatever your situation is, you deserve a home. So let's just start with that. Okay. How to get there. That's why I'm here. I'm your trusted realtor. Okay. So you do deserve a home. So I was looking into the educational component. What can I do as a teacher to help people prepare to get where they need to be so far as real estate? So as I began to do that, people would come to the seminars and they would get the information and they began to purchase homes. Like I said, I'll get to Kiosha's story in a minute, but there is no situation too bleak or too dark where you can't own a home. It's about the work that you have to put into it. Think about it like this. Okay, everyone who's gone to college, right? When you enter college, you fill out the application in hopes of getting a degree. So you fill out all the paperwork, you show up, you get the material, you prepare yourself, and you go through the classes to learn the content, right? Okay, that's what home ownership is. You guys are here today. You signed up. So you've taken step one of what is she going to say? I want to know more about this home ownership. How can I get into this? Okay. And then maybe, let's say maybe you are already a homeowner. I don't want to assume that everyone I'm speaking to has never owned a home before, but I have this thing that I always say, own on your level. Okay. Everybody remember that. Own on your level. I've owned 3 homes in my life, and my first one was about $80,000. It was okay. It was all brick. I was happy to be a homeowner. I was able to sell that home and purchase my second home, which was about 200,000. Okay, moving on up, right? And that served us well for about 8 years. And now in August 2020, we just built our dream home. And it has been an amazing experience. And I'm going to share my YouTube channel with you guys, because if you want to see what new construction is all about, I actually have a video where we went out in February of 2020 in faith that this was going to be our lot, our land, our home. And I did videos every week during the pandemic. We were out there doing videos. And I told my husband, I said, I want to share this journey with everyone. Good, bad, and ugly. I want to share it. Lo and behold, we had no idea we were going to run into a pandemic that slowed a lot of things down. But follow that journey. My YouTube page is Moving to Marietta. I'm going to leave all that information with you at the end. But we had the faith, which this is the inspirational part, guys. If you don't believe you can be a homeowner, then we can stop right here. That's part of that's most of the journey. I was saying I posted something on Facebook about being a homeowner, and someone said there's nothing wrong with renting. And I said, you are absolutely correct. There is absolutely nothing wrong with renting. We rented for 2 years when we first moved to this city because we didn't know the area. We weren't just going to buy a home right away, which why Pad Split is something that I was intrigued by. Quick interjection, you don't find many companies that make their money through rentals saying, let me partner with a real estate agent. Most people collecting rent, take your rent and times it times 12. Yeah, let that soak in, right? How much you're paying towards somebody else's mortgage. But when you find a company that says, no, we're not going to take all your money. We're going to give you an opportunity to save money, to build wealth and transition into something better. That's ministry. And that's what I connect to. Okay. Again, that's why I'm here. Most of y'all may not even be in the state of Georgia. So I'm not here to, get a whole bunch of clients and make a whole bunch of money, though that is nice. You can call me. However, my goal is to inspire, empower, and simply inform. If we have a relationship after this, that's amazing. But this is my goal, and you can, check back on my Facebook page, Instagram. I've been doing this and I absolutely love it. But the guy said, so there's nothing wrong with renting. And I am completely in agreement with that. I told him my goal is not to talk to people who like to rent. If you like to rent and you like the flexibility, to move around and do what you want to do, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You have shelter, you feel safe, you're happy. My goal is to talk to people who rent and think there's no opportunity to own. Now we have a problem. Now you're limiting your abilities. Now you're saying what God can't do for you. That's a problem. Okay. So I'm here to talk to people that say, I'm in a real bad situation. Like my credit score is real low, 2 digits, maybe just 100 is low. Okay. But I want to own a home. That's step number one, you guys being here today. And so own on your level, just get into something and own it in a smart way. Because I will, real quick, let me tell you about my 3 homes that I own. The first one, I knew nothing about home ownership. Like, I wish there was a Tashara Alexander trusted realtor to talk to me, because I just went and bought a home. Wherever they said sign, I was so happy to be in the lawyer's office. I was like, okay, sign, just signing. I don't know what the interest rate, honestly. I didn't know what the interest rate was. I mean, I had an agent, but not a very good one. So it was kind of like just going through the process. But it was still a blessing. It's ownership, right? And we stayed there a few years. My second home, I thought I knew a little better. I wasn't an agent at the time, but I had a little bit more information, right? So I bought the second home and made another mistake. I let the seller's agent represent me. Always get your own real estate agent. You know how much it costs for my services to help you find a home? Absolutely nothing to you. $0. When you hire a real estate agent as to represent you, it costs you nothing. The seller pays my fees, right? So I wish I would not have let that gentleman represent. He got both commissions, mine and the seller's, and I thought it would be quicker and easier. No, because there were some things. He was honest, but he did not work for my full benefit. Okay, and we're going to talk later about making sure you don't pick a random realtor. You interview your realtors. Even with me, I encourage people, don't just pick me because you like my videos or you like, ask me questions to make sure that you and I are going to be a good fit. That's very important. Okay. So my second home, I didn't get the best interest rate. I know that now, since interest rates are 2.75 and sometimes below, which that's another good reason to purchase. It's a great season to purchase. And down below in the webinar, we're going to talk about the market and where the interest rates are and things like that. But I didn't get the best interest rate. It was a little high. And so, but we had a really nice home, 200,000, great neighborhood. So we're getting there. So now that I'm fully knowledgeable, and in August 2020, I was able to build my own home, do my own deals, stay on top of the builders, making sure everything was great. I do that same thing for my clients. So they know just how I was checking up on my property. I'm going to do that for them in new construction as well. Okay. So again, there's levels of home ownership. You may not get the big pool in the back and the fence and the, the 4 stories or whatever, but get you a piece of property, especially in this season, guys, with everything going on. You want something that you can own. Because if you rent a home, if you rent anything permanent, again, with pad split, they're flexible. Okay. You don't have to lock into a year or what have you. And that rent on the apartments is starting to go up because they know that some people won't take the time like you to get educated to purchase. So they're taking advantage of all the people who need homes. But pad split does offer affordable homes. And so to me, that's why I'm here. That's why I thought this was such a good partnership. So speaking of partnership, let me tell you really quickly about Miss Kiosha Roche. She and I met, and again, I was doing real estate. I don't even think I presented the opportunity to her. We were doing something else. And she said, well, tell me about this real estate thing. And that was it, like, end of discussion. I contacted her. She did some very drastic things to get ready to buy. And we'll talk about that later in the empowerment session of this webinar. But she made some huge sacrifices, guys, to be a homeowner. And that is what it takes. Now, I'm pretty financially savvy. I have a husband. We still cut back and saved and did things that we needed to do because we want to be in the best buying position. Don't be like Miss Alexander. Don't be like Tashara with the first home and just sign stuff or just to get a house and not know that there's a smart way to buy. Anyone can own a home, I mean, for the most part, but did you get the best deal? Did your agent make sure that you crossed all your T's and dotted your I's? So that's something to consider as you go on this journey. But Kiosha did that. She was on top of paperwork. She was making sure that she was getting the best deal possible. And of course, with my support, we were able to get her into a home. And I actually spoke to her yesterday. That's right. When you hook up with me, I am there. So she's now remodeling her home because we're going to flip it. And she's going to make money off of it, the equity, and then she's going to do another property. That's what I'm saying. Own on your level. Don't be afraid to get something for now. That's nice. I wouldn't put anyone in a dump, of course. It was a good, solid home. We have inspections for that sort of thing. But get into something to get you equity. So the money you pay every month for your cost of living goes to you and not your whoever owns the home. Okay. All right, now we're going to get into the empowerment session. Okay, and right after this, guys, I'm going to stop for a Q&A. So if you have any questions, you can go ahead and put that in the chat, and then Erin will share those out with me, and I'll be more than glad to answer. But right now, let's talk about credit. Okay, I see a lot of clients that, first of all, let me just say, I have clients that come to me, several right now, that are ready to buy. Like they've done everything they need to do, and we just go house shopping. That is fun. But I want to help those who don't know. It's the teacher in me. I'm telling you, because it's just like one year I taught all the advanced kids, and it was so amazing. They came, they had their homework, they were wonderful. And I told my principal, I was like, I want to go and see if I can help, some other kids as well, because that's what my passion is. So I kind of feel like that, like I want to inspire and educate the people, So credit, let's talk about that. That is what holds up a lot of people. A decent score is like 520. You can get into something for 480. You heard how I said that? You can get into something for 480. When I say it that way, the reason I do is because you're going to get a horrible interest rate. They'll give you a loan like they gave me. Okay. They gave me a loan, but it was terrible, and I still have issues with that today, because I'm like, if I had just gotten the education, I could have flipped it and not just let someone offer me something, but tell them this is what I want. This is the interest rate that I would like. So credit repair is critical. I had a young lady, she great job. That's the other thing. A lot of people have a lot of money. Like they have good money. I mean, a lot of money, but they have a good job. And then but my credit score, like you're making 5,000, 6,000, 8 with your husband a month, but we got this credit, issue going on. And so what happens is I said, what's your credit score? She said, I don't even want to look at it. She said, I don't even want to know. Guys, the first thing is to open your eyes and say, my name is blank and I have a credit issue. It's okay. There are a lot of us out there. I remember signing my first credit card application at Albany State University and just went crazy with it in college, because they were going around with a clipboard at that time to put me in debt, or all of us. And I had to work out of that. So it's okay if you have to work on your credit. I know credit repair people who can help you with that. It sometimes takes people longer times than others, but don't let student loans, credit card debt, negative things, collections and things like that scare you. It's something that needs to be addressed. For instance, if you felt a lump somewhere in your arm or your body or whatever, are you going to just ignore it and say, I don't want to deal with that, I don't want to know? Or are you going to go to the doctor, get it checked out, get a diagnosis, research everything you can to remove it so you can live? That's credit repair. Okay, let's look at it. Let's assess it. I have some people that can support you with that. Go through it and then move on and get your home. Okay, and not even if you have bad credit. What if you just have you want a higher credit score? Because we know in the 700s, you're going to get the best possible interest rate. So take that time. It starts today, guys. Like you working on your credit starts today. Don't wait until a month before you want to move and then you start working on your credit. Start now. Okay, and let that be the year or a year's plan. So next year you don't have to sign that lease. Next year you can move out and have your Christmas party in your own home. Okay. All right. The other thing, credit is an issue for a lot of people. And then the other thing is cash on hand. Stimulus checks, income tax checks, money in the Christmas card, money in the couch, extra money. If the teenager who lives with you want to give $10, put it in a jar. Save your money. You're going to need cash. And I know what you guys are thinking. Well, don't they have all these first-time home buyer programs? Yes, they do. There are a lot of stipulations that come with them sometimes. Most of my clients, they price out of it. Like they need it because they don't have cash, but they make too much money. They're not going to give you a first-time home buyer's, 100% finance on or what have you, if, you make a lot of money. So they look at what you make as well. Okay. And again, I have professionals attached to me. I don't claim to be a credit expert. I don't claim to be a lending expert, but I've done it enough to see what people face. And so I kind of help them act some of those issues. But just think about it, just save your money. It's good to have it anyway, even if your closing costs and down payment is taken care of and you just want it for moving costs. If you're on the journey to home ownership, then you need to start making sure that you save every dime that you can. Like literally every dime matters. You might say, well, we were going on a trip. So this is, let me say this real quick. You have to tell people what you are doing, okay? If you're saving money, make sure you let your family know. This is what you say. You can't do everything you used to do, guys. You cannot do everything you used to do if you're saving for a home. That vacation, the clothes and the shoes and all that's nice, but I mean, we're not really going anywhere right now. So don't shop. Put that in your savings jar, account, or what have you. And say this with them, because some people, oh, you don't want to do this with me. They're going to give you a hard time. But this line will stop everything. If you tell people this, I'm in the process of buying a home. I can't do that this year. No, thank you. We can't have Thanksgiving at my home. I can't host it this year because I'm in the process of buying a home. The only thing, oh, really? Oh, okay, now I can get behind that, But if you just say, I don't have it, or what, don't be vague. There's something to be admired about a person who's decided to put their funds in the right place. So say that with me. I can't hear you, but say, I am in the process of buying a home. Okay. And whoever you need to tell that, your girlfriends going out every weekend, can't do that anymore. COVID really helps. It should help people save money because we can't do as much as we used to, but you have to get in the habit of saying, I am in the process of buying a home, so I can't do these things because I have to put my money elsewhere. If you have to downsize, listen, my daughter, my husband and I go through the bills every month because we don't give anybody extra money if they don't deserve it. And AT&T went up on our bill to like $200. And you know how you have those deals, right? And then they take the deal off and then you get the regular price. So I'm calling the next day and my daughter's like, Mom, really? It's like $40. Like, she said, you all have money. And I said, that's how we keep it. We make sure AT&T doesn't get the extra, right? So I called them. I was like, what's going on? So we ended up, actually, my husband did the research and we ended up going with like a YouTube TV. I hate those streaming things. I thought I did, but it was a better price. And my money matters to me. I'm not cheap. I don't hoard money. I make sure I, pay my tithe, bless people, and do what I have to do. But I want to control where my money goes. And I just don't pay money for things that are meaningless. Okay. So look around your house tonight, get with your spouse, yourself, if it's just you, get a notepad, write down where all of your money is going. It would probably surprise you and you will be able to find that extra. Okay. So downsizing is very important. So the only other thing I have for you guys, because I'm watching my timer here, is the information. I'm going to take you through the home buying process. So I'm going to stop right here and see if anyone has any questions.
We do have a few questions.
I'm sorry?
We do have a few questions.
Okay, great.
Perfect. So one of the first ones is this particular member has a good bit of student loans. Mm-hmm. Will they be able to get a home owing that kind of money for student loans?
Mm-hmm. Everybody has student loans. Yes, I have student loans, but right now they're deferred. So thank you, Joe Biden. I think he said they were that was one of the first things he was going to do was keep the payments deferred. Listen, okay, so now you're bringing out another story in me. I'm from Cuthbert, Georgia. So my parents did not have money to send me off to Albany State University full ride. I didn't have it. I had to get student loans. That's nothing to be ashamed of. And it's also something that if you do it right, like, oh, see, now this is where my lenders come in, but there's something you can do to call your student loan people, and then they tell you to get on some kind of program, and then that looks better to the lenders because you're on that payment plan. And a lender could tell you exactly what I'm trying to say, but we did that. My husband and I both did that. So we're not rich, yet. Speaking, but we're not. So we had to, student loans, that's pretty common. Pay it though, like get on top of it and make a payment plan. Don't ignore it, like out of sight, out of mind, because those payments are coming back. I don't know how long President Biden is going to keep those deferred, but they're coming back. So, but that's not a reason why you can't get a home. Other thing, I had a client who claimed bankruptcy, and she was able to get a home after that, brand new home, beautiful story. Okay.
Another question that came in is how much cash do you need? Like, what would you recommend saving?
Oh, great question. So the down payment on most homes, so you take whatever home, because I know you guys look at Zillow, Realtor.com. If you look at what the home costs, and then it's about 3 to 3.5% for a down payment. And I had to make sure that I actually talked to my lender before. I have some lenders that I work with, and it's still about 3.5% for the down payment, and the closing cost is about 3%. But if you get a great realtor, such as myself, you can sometimes negotiate the closing costs and have the seller pay the closing costs or half. And then the down payment, though, you're going to need that unless you qualify for one of those first-time home buyer programs. This is why when people call me after I do my little consultation, I then say, go ahead and apply for the loan. Oh, but I'm not ready. Apply so we can have a plan of action. You know, and some people were surprised. My lender's like, she has nothing on her credit. She can buy a home now. And the lady thought that she would, couldn't. So sometimes you feel like you can't do something, but if you actually go out and put forth the effort, you'll see it's not as bad as you think. So yeah, so 3.5% for the down payment. Closing cost is negotiable with the seller.
Cool. So another question that came in is, what are some ways that you recommend on fixing your credit?
Okay, first of all, that little disclaimer, I'm not a credit repair person. So please call a credit repair person and start the process, and be careful who you call. That's why having a realtor is another good thing, because we have people that we work with who's connected to us. Because I do have a client who just called me and she paid $800 to a credit repair person, and now they won't answer the phone. Broke my heart. And so I have connected her with a person that I have been working with, but there are some people out there that are not very honest. That's why I call myself the trusted realtor, because I have a God to answer to, and I can't be out here taking people's money and doing the wrong thing. So, karma, but people will take your money. And so be careful when you're on Facebook and you just click on someone and send them $500 cash app. Be careful. Get you a realtor who's closed deals with certain credit repair people who can take you through the process successfully.
Cool. Another question that came in is this person said they've got good, excellent credit. The tough spot is where I'm moving to. They want to move back to where their family lives, and housing is really expensive there. There are a few places to rent, but they're looking for a property that's like kind of live work. What are your suggestions on an area like that?
And it depends. Is this in Georgia? Did they say the state?
They didn't say the state. Laurel, I don't know if you want to clarify.
Okay.
Nothing yet.
Well, okay. Well, so far as the market. Okay. And that's my next when I get into the inform, but I'll tell you, the market is tough. It's a seller's market. Okay. So when we're talking about affordability, that is an issue, that a lot of people face. Keosha took her 2 kids to her mom's house with as much pain and love in her heart. She knew she had to do it temporarily. She got another job and she worked at night. She's not doing it anymore. It was a temporary fix to a permanent blessing. Okay. So she did what she had to do. Cutting back, having the money, you can get the dream home that you want. My husband and I had to do some things to prepare ourselves for the type of dream home that we wanted. The market, yes, the homes are expensive. They are. I'll be honest with you. There's no way around that because it's a seller's market, but it's coming back around, guys. The market is coming back around where the inventory is going to grow, and then it'll be a buyer's market again. But what you do, we moved into an area we knew we wanted to live, and we rented for 2 years until we found our dream home. That's why I say renting is not a bad thing if it's done with purpose. Pad split, if you have that opportunity to do that. I have another couple, they came from a different state, couldn't buy. Like we looked and they just couldn't, the finances, they moved in with a family member and they're saving money, and we're going to get them a house next year. Okay. So you kind of have to, and let me just say, because I'm not going to get to all of this, but I have a solution probably, guys, for everything, only because, and this is not something I got from YouTube or a textbook. These are real life experiences that I've walked through with people. I have an HPC, which is a home prep consultation session that we can have. And so at the end, when I give you my website, you can sign up and then we can do a one-on-one, so I don't take up everybody's time talking about one specific situation. But I would certainly like to talk to you more about the specific area you're going to and what the market is doing there.
Perfect. And I think another option there too is, Laurel, I don't know if you're interested in this, but that we do have a lot of what we call consumer models with pad splits. So if you're interested in purchasing a home, you can always purchase one that you maybe have a basement that you could rent out or something like that, where you can have some additional income come in. Or if you love pad split, you could pad split it. So that might be able to get you into a higher market there. So another question that came in is, so currently this individual is a school bus driver, and with schools closing during the pandemic, will I still be able to try for this on the first time? For the first time.
Is she saying she's unemployed, or because the school closing, sometimes they're still getting a paycheck? So
yeah,
is she saying that she's unemployed?
Jennifer, I'll have to ask you to clarify that one for me if you don't mind.
Yeah.
And then the
Briefly
follow-up
speak
to
on
that
that.
one is, while she's clarifying it, where do you apply for loans? She's still getting
Oh, great question. Great question. And that's what I'm going to go through next for the empowerment part. I mean, the inform part of this, but you can call any, I suggest a mortgage company, like the banks that do mortgages specifically, as opposed to like your SunTrust, or you can try any bank, but I like the mortgage companies better. They tend to give better rates. You can do your credit union. Okay. I have specific lenders that I work with, almost every realtor, because it's, it's not 100% that you guys will call me, but take this information back to your local realtor, and they have lenders connected to them. It's a thing. If you want a person to get through a home buying process, you better know some good lenders. So I tell people, just trust me. They say, okay, who do you want me to call? And they call. If it's new construction, though, you need to use maybe theirs, because they give you a better incentives. So it could be a personal bank, credit union, a mortgage company, but I do suggest you get with a good realtor first and see who they work with.
Perfect. One more question that came in, and I think this is a good one. How do you know how much you can afford?
Okay, that is a very good question. There are calculators online. You literally can Google it, put how much you make, what your expenses are, and it'll give you a number. That's one way. The most accurate way is to, again, hook up with a realtor, go ahead and apply for the loan. Let me tell you why. If you're going to buy a year from now, whatever that does to your credit will be, you can revamp that. But I say, work on the things you know you need to work on first. There are some people who say, no, I know exactly what I need to do. I don't need to call anyone yet. But again, it may not be as bleak as you think it is. So I would certainly call a lender and then kind of let them tell you how much home you can afford. Okay, because they know to the T, because they're the one giving you the money. And what I also do is I'm very careful with people's budgets. Like I had this lady, had a new construction, and she kept adding. I was like, oh, you can do that yourself. Don't add that to the cost. It's her money. I get paid more if she spends more, but I can't do it. So I'm like, no, don't do that. So you think you might can afford more than you actually can, but the lender's going to give you the exact amount.
One more just came in. What if you've already been denied by a lender?
Okay. So, and that does happen, but they should give you like next steps. My lenders give me denial, that's fine. If you get denied, it's just a delay in what you're going to get. We're not afraid of denial. That's okay. We're not afraid of low credit scores, but they should give you a plan of action. That's what my lenders do. They say, okay, let's do this, and this, and then come back to me in 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever, depending on your situation. And if they didn't give it to you, call them back and say, hey, I was denied a loan, and I've been talking to the trusted realtor, and she told me to call you and see why was I denied, and what would you suggest from the people that you've approved that I do in these next few months to be approved by your company. Take ownership of it. Take ownership of your opportunities. Okay. But yeah, that happens, and you just go in again when you're ready.
Awesome. We got one that said, would you consider working in the DeKalb area?
Yes, absolutely. Fulton County, DeKalb, Gwinnett, Paulding County. I love Marietta. Like my YouTube channel is moving to Marietta. That's because I live here. So no one should buy a home in Marietta without calling me to at least interview me, right? But yes, I will travel. I'm a traveling agent. Absolutely. So let's just chat after this. And I'm going to pause here, Erin, because I don't want people to leave without me giving them this last little bit of information. And then I'll come back and I'll be here as long as you guys want me to.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the third section, guys, is to inform the market. And I'll say that because I've already talked about it a little bit, but the market is a seller's market. We can navigate through it. People are still closing homes with me. It's still happening. I have some tricks up my sleeve that I can do with the listing agent that makes my application sometimes, application contract, sorry, or offer stand out over others. There are things, don't be afraid. Don't listen to people telling you, oh, don't buy right now. If the interest rate is right, your mindset is right, and you can, get the cash right, and the lenders, that's the right time. Okay, because sometimes you listen to people and they'll talk you out of your blessing. So I'm in the process of buying a home, so I got to stay on this track, right? So the market is a seller's market, but there are ways to navigate through. No random realtors. Interview your realtor. The first realtor I received, I did it because she had a lot of signs. When we sold our first home, she had a lot of signs in the yard. She was terrible, didn't care anything about selling my property. I fired her, got another realtor, and got the job done. So the right realtor is everything. So make sure that you interview your realtors. And you say, no, thank you. It's your, this is your money. If you don't like what they're saying or they're not connecting, move on to the next person. So let's quickly go through the entire process of buying a home, just for anyone who has never done it. And let's see. Okay, so the first thing is you hire the right realtor. The second thing is you're going to get that credit straight. You're going to go and apply for a loan. During that loan period, you get something called a pre-approval letter. So back in the day, you could go shopping for houses and just look, it's fun, go look. No, the market is so volatile now. You need to have that pre-approval letter ready, because what I'm going to do as soon as you say, Tashara, that's the one, I'm getting on the computer to write up the offer. I need the approval letter to put with it. So when I send it in to the listing agent, they're like, oh, they're ready. They have everything. They're not waiting for lending to be approved. You see what I mean? If you don't have a pre-approval letter, your offer is going to the back of the pack or the back of the stack. It just is, because there's so much competition out there. You have to have your ducks in a row. The next thing, so then when you get your pre-approval letter, we go house hunting. And then after that, after we go house hunting, you find the one, we put in the offer, we get it. So now we go under contract. When they say under contract, that is the time you get 10 days. You get about 10 days to keep the house, or say, I don't want to be under contract anymore. I don't want to do this. It's not the one, or whatever. You can back out and still get your earnest money back. Earnest money is money that you pay. You put it in a pot. No one gets it. It just sits in a, pot or whatever. And that's money saying you're a serious buyer. It gives the seller comfort. Okay. So you put the money in there, and that's your earnest money. So we go through, we're going to hire an inspector. We're going to get an appraisal. You can never overpay for a home. Okay. Because the appraisal has to come in. So if the seller is like, no, I want 500,000 and the home is only worth 400,000, all you pay is 400,000, because that's what the bank said it's worth. The seller might have emotional attachments to it, but we don't pay for their emotional issues, right? We're not paying for what they feel they should have. We have to pay what the bank is willing to lend, and they can either keep the contract, or they can actually, just cancel the contract. Okay. So that's that. So after you're under contract, past your 10 days, it's fun because it's kind of like solid and everything's going. Then you work on your financing. You work with the lender, okay, to make sure that all the money is going to be there at the closing and things like that. Then you do your walkthrough. You go back through the home to make sure the seller didn't take out anything they should take out, that everything that was on the seller disclosures is there and in order. Then after that, it's closing day. That's when you see people on Facebook with the big keys in front of their door. That's the fun time. That's very exciting. And I get emotional every time, because everybody I work with has a story. Every single person I work with has a background story of how they got that home. Even if they have a lot of money. I have a couple from New York. They were good. They're both engineers. So finances wasn't an issue for them, but they were so afraid to move to a different state. They bought a home based on I do really good videos, by the way. If you're out of state, you want to move here, I can send you a video, and I do a narrative. And they picked a home based on the video I sent them, flew down here and got their home. But so even though that was emotional, and we close next Wednesday, but even though that was emotional, they had the money, but it still was a lot of emotional things of moving from New York to Georgia, not knowing anyone, and having to trust me, things like that. So It is a process, but closing day is always fun. And hopefully you guys will stay on that track so we can get to one of those big keys, things like that. I'm going to go ahead and say my little final things, guys, and let you guys get out of here. And then if you have any questions, I mean, you know, my husband and my son are out. I can stay here and answer questions for you guys, but I don't want to hold up everyone. Let me just say that this has been an absolute pleasure. I am pretty heavy on social media. Facebook is Tashara the Realtor. Instagram is Tashara the Realtor. My website is tasharaalexander.com. And my YouTube is moving to Marietta. So, and please, when you go on my YouTube, look, I'm just starting out. Give your girl a like. You know, there was no fee for this, so at least go like my videos and watch my videos or subscribe. You know, I'd love some new subscribers from this because I continue to put out free, no anything from you, educational videos about how you can become a homeowner. And I have cool videos of different homes on there too. If you didn't get a chance to write down any of that, please take this to note, tasharaalexander.com. If you go to my website, everything is on there. You can contact me there. You can find all my social media links, everything. So it's just my name, Tashara Alexander, no .com is my website, guys. It has been an absolute pleasure, and I hope to see you guys on Facebook. Follow me on Instagram. That's what my daughter always says, I think. Follow me on Instagram, wherever I'm going. I would love to see you on there. Don't forget the HPC, the home prep consultation sessions. I offer one-on-one. I like to talk a lot. So if you want to just call and say, hey, I didn't want to say this in the chat, but what about this or that? If I can't answer the question, I'll lead you to the right people. Okay, guys? All right. So, Aaron, I guess they can go, or they're going to say questions. If you guys have to go cook dinner, please do. If not, hang around and see what kind of questions your peers have.
Yeah,
okay,
so, perfect. Thank you so much, Tashara. I learned so much, and I know everybody else did here as well. We're going to be sending out an email with all of Tashara's contact information, as well as the links to YouTube, Facebook, all that good stuff. So you guys can reach out to her and follow up with any questions and get that consultation. Because I know we've got a lot of really excited people. So anybody have any final questions for Tashara before we wrap up? Looks like we're just asking for details for the most part. Lots of thank yous.
Aww.
So this was super great.
I wish I could see you guys. Hopefully I'll meet you one day. Absolutely. Thank you all. I see some of the messages. Thank you guys. Hopefully you feel empowered, inspired, and informed. That was my goal for tonight.
Love it. All right. Well, thanks y'all so much. And then just look for that email that'll come out. We'll also send a copy of the recording so everybody can view that or listen to some things if you want to review some information that Tashara shared.
Awesome.
Thanks y'all so much.
Bye, guys.
Bye.